Hello, everybody. So today's entry is PJ Smyth's Preparing for Marriage. As you'll see by the logo here, it's specifically from God First Church, so it's not that accessible. However, I'm still going to review it because it's my bookshelf, right? Basically, it's 140 pages of pure reading. The introductory section is about 7 pages. Took me 45 minutes to read that with note taking and maximum distractions. Kids were playing loudly and wife was trying to talk to me the whole time. But I managed to make it through in 45 minutes. The font size makes it quite an easy read in that it's 1.8 millimeters and the pages are white. And so you have an easy time reading this, but it's basically meant in terms of the structure now, it's basically meant to be a workbook, right? So you have readings at the end that you need to go through as before you do the actual work session. Okay, which is the middle portion, and then the introductory section is just to get your mindset in terms of what you should expect from the book, right? So, who is this book for and how does it work? Basically, it is for young couples who are aspiring to get married, right? And when should you get this book? I think you should get this book prior to engagement, right? Because engagement is a public declaration of your intentions to get married, right? So before you go public, this book is a good help to help you sober up about your choice of commitment, right? Basically, you get it in pairs. This is for the young woman, this is for the young man, right? And it has readings at the back section that you need to do prior to you coming together and discussing. You read the section and then you go to the middle of the book and you do the actual work, right? Where it asks you questions in light of what you got from the readings, and then you have to answer those questions for yourself first, and then you can come together and answer those questions together. But it's also meant to be the couple, right? And also a mentor couple, usually, and hopefully people who have been married for a bit, over a bit of time, more than, at least we have some traction, right, in the marriage game. And basically what happens is that after you've done the work session by yourself, after you've gotten together, if that's what you guys can, if you can afford to do that, basically you come and answer those same questions or respond to the same questions in front of the mentor couple, right? And what happens is that they can help you, because this is why now you need people who have been married for a bit longer, right, than a couple of years, right? So that, because it's more nuanced, more wisdom there, right? And you have to try and find that mentor couple. Yeah, it keeps you accountable. But also it helps you think soberly about what to expect in marriage. Why is this a good book? Because it helps you think soberly about who you want to marry, right? It doesn't take away the romance of it, but it's actually quite good in that you get to discuss practically your expectations, right? So it helps you manage your expectations, right? And also sometimes dismantles your assumptions about marriage, because marriage is not what people think it is. I think even if you grew up with in a two-parent home, you don't necessarily. It's different when you meet someone from outside, because they might not come from a two-parent home. They might not have seen that model at work, and even your example might not be the best one, right? And so it's always good to get a resource like this. This one is specifically from God First, but I would recommend you get a resource, this one or a resource like this, and that mentor couple, so that you get as much insight as possible into the person you're marrying. And on top of that, you know how the divorce rate is quite high right now. Even among the Christian community, I think there's a bit of a struggle there, or maybe a lot of a struggle, because a lot of Christians don't go through this. They don't prepare for marriage, actually, right? It's good to take the principles from scripture. However, it needs to be you need to be you don't buy a house without considering all the things that you need to consider. You don't take a job without reading through the contract, hopefully, right? But so it's a similar thing where marriage is an such an institution and such an important institution that can make or break you, and so you need as much information as you need as possible before you get into it. All right, it's not just a natural inclination. It is a natural inclination, but it's not just something you can just jump into, you see. And also because there's families involved. So how do you deal with all of that? And when fights develop, how do you fight fair? Right? And it's purely written from a Christian perspective, right? And so you need to understand, it helps you, understand how to think about listen, man, it's going to have things there that you never thought about. Somewhere, somehow, it's going to have something that you didn't consider, a question you did not ask that gets asked to you, and now you need to resolve it in front of your significant other or potential significant other, as well as a mentor couple. But the whole point is to try and guide you towards making the right decision. If you decide to call it off, it is what it is. That's the right decision for you guys at that time because of compatibility in that sense, right? Yes, we are all capable of loving, right? However, you might just be setting up for divorce, or at least an unfulfilling or horrible marriage, right? And so this helps you both sober up. And I think if you do reach a decision to call it off, it may be a wise decision. You want to be making a wise decision, right? And not an emotional decision or you're distracted by something else. Having said all of that, all the best to anybody who picks up this resource or something similar. And please, and I'll pray that we all have happy and prosperous marriages. All the best.